Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Lori. I'm the PhD Antiques Appraiser. It's good to be with you. My guests are from all over. Everything's unscripted. I'll do appraisals. I'll show you what to look for. Don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. It's at drloriv.com. You can subscribe to it there. Give me your email address. We'll send out the newsletter to you. You don't have to do one more thing, and yes, it's free. My guests are here. Let's see what they've got. Oh, it looks like that's the sculpture. Looks like can't really see that too close to the camera. You might want to back up a little bit near the palm plant. And then we've got what looks like a Remington style piece. Let's take a look at this sculpture, the Remington style sculpture, which would be a Western sculpture you typically see. And I need it to be right in front of that camera. So find your camera and put the sculpture in front of it. There you go. So it looks like one of the busting Bronco sculptures in the manner of Frederick Remington. So is the piece signed?
It is.
Okay.
Right down here on the top.
Okay. Is there any other marking on? You go ahead. Oh, there's a plaque on it. Okay. But does it say F Remington on the top, on the base of it?
On the base it says Frederick Remington.
Okay. Is there a K in Frederick or just a C? What do you look for when you're looking at Frederick Remington sculptures is probably what you're asking. Sometimes they actually misspell the name. So again, you want to make sure that Frederick Remington's name is spelled properly. The other things that you usually are looking for in Frederick Remington or Remington restrikes, recasts, are in fact elements such as a foundry mark, right? From they're actually found from the foundry. Sometimes that's in the form of a medallion. Sometimes it's round. Sometimes it's not. The other thing you might look for, you might see a lot of these plaques. I never go by these plaques because after almost 30 years in this business, let me tell you, those plaques are not always accurate. Now, is there a rattlesnake on the bottom of that actual base? Like on the base, can you see these sort of that the horse is kind of scared by or spooked by a rattlesnake?
Yes, there's a rattlesnake there.
Okay, so then as opposed to it being a busting Bronco of Remington, it's a rattlesnake piece. How'd you acquire it?
I got it from Goodwill online.
Okay. So what'd you pay for it?
I paid a lot for it, but I've been wanting a Remington. I paid $150.
$150. $150 is not bad value on the piece, about $750. So you didn't do bad on that.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay. Very good.
Good for you.
Thank you, Dr. Lori.
My pleasure. When you're looking at pieces like that, that's what you have to look for. And I, of course, like to tell you what to look for so you can succeed. So you understand what you're looking at and you're understanding the way in which this works. More guests, more objects. Let's see. So we've got a little cobalt piece of ceramic and a painting. And let's take a look at the ceramic. I don't know, there's a dog somewhere. Let's look at the piece of ceramic, please. That one. Yeah, that would be great. Hi, I'm Dr. Lori. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm good. So what have you got there? It looks like a foo dog sculpture, actually a little ceramic piece. Hand painted, some gild work, a little bit of moriage. So how'd you acquire this?
My husband fell in love with it.
Did he get the other one? You should have two.
No, they only had one. We actually got it from an estate sale. The person passed away.
They work in pairs, right? They work in pairs. So oftentimes every time they're intended to be sort of at two ends, two sides of, they usually were guard figures, and they usually were two sides of a throne or two sides of a doorway or that kind of thing. So you only have one food dog. And typically these are mass produced in very, very large numbers. You see a lot of them. This one looks like it is as well. When you're looking at the underside, it should be unglazed. Is your underside unglazed? Yes, your underside is unglazed. That's one of the other things you want to look for. And again, this channel is all about teaching you what to look for so you get it right and getting the true accurate values, right? So what to look for here. The colors are nice. The glaze work is nice. The ceramic is basically average in terms of quality. If you can hold it still, that will help everybody take a look at it. Yep. And then basically you should have two of them. What do you want to say, sweetie?
Oh, we actually ended up picking it up. It was from a gentleman that was in Japan, and he was stationed in Japan. Mm-hmm. So we actually acquired a lot of his items that he brought over from Japan, like the table that I'm sitting on.
Yeah.
But I wanted to show you this instead.
Great. Value on the piece in your hand, $30. You should have had two. Yeah.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
So And the other point I want to make is in terms of it, just because the person was in Japan doesn't mean that piece A is Japanese, doesn't mean that the piece actually came from Japan. He might have just been someone who had an eye for Japanese stuff and he might have gotten it here. Again, she has no way of knowing either way. And maybe it was from Japan. Origin and provenance is always going to be important. So make sure that you get the information. She seemed to have realized that provenance and origin is important, and she seemed to get the information. So good for her. Guests from all over. Let's see what they've got. All different types of things, art, antiques, and collectibles. Of course, I'll evaluate them and advise you on as to what they are worth. Okay, let's see. So we've got a lot of sculptures today, and we've got this work of art too. So let's take a look at this work of art. Looks like it's in a frame. It looks like it has some European characteristics, and it looks like it also has, in fact, a very nice structure in terms of its composition. Hi, I'm Dr. Lori. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm Marco.
Hi, Marco, from Venice, from Verona.
Yes, right. A long time, yeah.
Nice to see you, Marco.
Nice to see you. How are you?
See you. Marco has visited us here on Ask Dr. Lori Live before. We've done some video calls together. How are things? Are things well? What time is it in Italy? 2 a.m.?
It's midnight.
Midnight. Okay, I was wrong. Well, I hope everything's well. It's nice to see your nice smile. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell me about this painting. As I said, it looks European. How did you acquire it?
Yes, I have bought it in the thrift store. It is, I bought it for 20 euro actually. It's like, I think $18 US. And yes, I liked it like this. There is a signature which is written CAMY, but I don't know if it's right, or EAMY, Kami or Emi, something like that.
Okay, is it oil on canvas? Is it oil on paper?
I think it's oil on a board.
So it's a board you can actually knock on it, or is it like a masonite board?
You can
show me the back, please. Yeah, okay. Okay, so first of all, what we see is that particular piece probably is Italian. It's probably Southern Italy. I would say that, let's see the front again. Let's see the front again, just so we can take a look at the composition. What's Italian about it? The drama of the sky is what's Italian about it. Very, very dramatic, straightforward in the composition of course, the landscape, and then the drama is in the sky. You can see all of those clouds. That's a dramatic Italian style piece. Probably 20th century, I would say. I would put it sometime between 1930 and 1960. And I would say, how big is it? You can do centimeters if you need to.
Yes, I have in centimeters. I wrote it. So only with the frame or without the frame?
With the frame.
With the frame, it's 84 centimeters and 64. Okay.
So 64 by 84 centimeters. Value on that piece, about $350 for your 20 euro investment. Very good.
Okay.
Very nice. Always based on actual sales records where similar pieces have sold. So that might be an auction house. That might be a private collector. That might be, of course, online, other different places. And also based on years and years of my experience of identifying the quality of the pieces, the origin of the pieces, and of course, where they will fall in the marketplace. So wonderful piece. Nice to see, of course, another longtime friend and follower, of course, of the channel. So it's good to see Marco. Questions, here we go. We've got some plates. We're going to choose one item when we do this at drloriv.com. One item.
They came together.
I understand they came together, but one is one. And let's see what else we've got. Then we've got another, piece there. And then we have this piece, which looks like a Van Briggle. Let's take a look at the blue and white ceramic plate with the image of the gentleman on it. He might be a sea captain with a little pipe, maybe Dutch. Hi, it's Dr. Lori. Can I see the back of this plate, please? And what does that say? Does it say it's Delft?
Yes, it says Baume and Mercier, Belgium, Delft.
Bach Frères. Bach Frères, of course, are the Bach brothers, right? They're very well known. And then, of course, made in Belgium. And Delft is, of course, not only a place, but also a style, the blue and white style. Can I see the front of it, please, so everybody can talk about the blue and white style? You'll notice the very elongated pipe. That elongated pipe is a clay pipe. It's very typical of the 18th and 19th century. Some of the things to look for if you're looking for seafaring iconography or imagery like this particular example, that nice long clay pipe. And those clay pipes, of course, you might have seen them in your travels if you're antique shopping or treasure hunting. And those oftentimes indicate that idea of the 19th century seafarers, right? Now, the Dutch were best known for those types of pipes. And of course, a Delft piece is usually blue and white, usually pretty high quality ceramic. But Bach Frères, for example, we've seen others like this on the channel, particularly on the Real Bargains videos where people have picked those up. How did you acquire this plate?
I got it at Goodwill.
Okay,
Just,
how much did you
about
pay?
a week ago? I got it for $4.
Okay, you did very, very well. Value on this piece, about $95. And of course, it's because of the maker. It's because of the quality of the ceramic and also the highlighted Delft style imagery. So that's very nice. What's also characteristic of Delft and particularly Northern European ceramic pieces is that band around it, right? That band around it that we were looking at. So that floral band is something that we like to see. So good for you. That's very nice. Guests are here from all over the place. Let's see what they've got. Okay. Let's take a look at this watch. Let's see what this watch has to say for itself. Can I see your face?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm Marty.
What's your name?
Marty.
Hi, Marty. So where'd you get this watch?
I think it was a gift, but I'm not
Yeah?
sure.
What does it say on it? I need to see the watch. That might help, Marty. There you go. So what does it say on it? Is there a particular maker on it?
Baume and Mercier.
Oh, it's a Baume and Mercier. Okay, that's nice. So can you back up a little bit so everybody can see it? It's a nice strong dial. That characteristic nice round dial is very nice. Is the band marked 14K? Is it a 14 karat gold band?
Yes.
So thank you for the super chats and super stickers. We appreciate your support of the channel and what I do. So that particular piece says 14K. Does the back of it say that? And is there is that bevel, that little bezel, that little part where it will wind, if you will, does that have a blue stone in it?
Blue stone. Yes.
Yes. So there's a sapphire bezel as well. Does it run? Who's talking? Is someone else giving you hints? Does that person want to speak? They may.
My wife.
Well, she may speak if she likes, but it's a little off-putting when she's not on camera and then she's saying stuff. So either get on camera and talk to me or don't. So now this particular piece was a gift to you or your wife?
To me.
Okay. In the 1960s or 70s?
Well, I was giving it to it as a result of the passing of my father-in-law, I think.
I see. Okay, I see. So it was inherited by you.
Yes.
Do you wear it, Marty?
Well, a little once in a while for special occasions.
Special occasions. I'm going somewhere great, right? Stepping out at one night, and then basically that's what I'm going to wear it. Value on your piece depends on accuracy or the jewels. How accurate is the watch? Does the watch run? Have you run the watch in a while?
It's been a while.
Okay, you got to check whether or not it's run. An horologist, which is someone who deals and basically who works with repairing, restoring, and maintaining watches. You know, watches are like, car engines. They need attention. They can't just sort of sit around and do nothing. You never wear them. You never use them. It's the same way that your battery could go dead in your car. That piece has to be, of course, addressed by an horologist or a watchmaker, if you will. Needs to be maintained. So if it's maintained in working condition, watch like that could range in value between $2,500 and about $10,000. It's going to depend on many different factors. So we need a couple more factors to do the checklist to narrow that value down, about $2,500 to $10,000. I'll tell you right now, with the cost and the value of gold, you're probably upwards of $5,000 to $10,000 on that watch. Wear it in good health.
Thank you.
My pleasure. So that's a nice one. That's a nice one. And of course, those nice solid gold marked bands will always increase value and hold value. So that's a nice one. So his wife had a couple of cents to put in. That doesn't matter. That's good. Would have liked to talk to her too. So we've got this vase, which looks like a relatively nice vase, and a long chain. Looks like a chain necklace with a pendant. And then we've got this bracelet. Let's take a look at this bracelet. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Dr. Lori.
Hi, what's this?
This is a bracelet that I found at a thrift store.
Okay. Have you checked those stones?
No.
Okay, we're not testing stones tonight. Well, everybody's against stone testing tonight? You got to test the stones. You got to get the Presidium Gemstone tester, and you got to test the stones. Is it marked? So it looks like you've got some seed pearls. It looks like you've got some very, very dull red stones. Those stones don't look like they're much at all, but we're going to have to test them before we criticize. It looks like some seed pearls. It also looks like some glass turquoise. What does that mean? It basically means that you have pieces of glass that are then colored to look like turquoise, as opposed to the actual naturally developed turquoise. Is the metal marked anywhere?
It is. It's Art C.
Okay. So basically you have a piece of costume jewelry, a nice piece. How many links do you have? The links are indicated together. So are there 8 links? I'm sorry?
8.
8. So are there 8 links? Okay.
And the back.
And the back is also, there you go. Okay. And look at the construction of it from the back. You'll notice that it looks like these just sort of curve around each other. They kind of clip into one another. It's a very easy and very typical 1960s to 1970s manner for construction of costume jewelry pieces. And of course, the maker's mark is very well identified. Good to know. And it's got that nice clasp that's going to be secured with the box, basically clipped together, just like the links itself. Yes. And okay. Can you show me the whole piece? Could you do it this way horizontally? And then back up some for me, hon. There it is. Let's just stay there for a second. Just don't move it if you can. So you've got 4 major and then you've got 4 minor links. What I mean by that is the 4 sort of look at me, it's a red piece, is that, and then you've got the other ones. I would say value on that piece is going to be just about $85 in the market today. It's a nice piece, and hopefully you paid less than that.
I did $5.
Good for you. Nice
Thanks
to
to
see
you.
Well, thanks to me. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the support of the channel, and I need it. I need you to support the channel. So great. That was fun. They're all fun. We've got some beautiful objects tonight, as we do every time I do this. It's good to see all of you. My guests are here from all over. Don't forget to sign up for that newsletter. Okay. Can't really see that. It's not in front of the camera. It's some big, long glass piece. It's not really in front of the camera very well. You might have to back up. So let's see. How about this piece, which looks like American Brilliant cut crystal glass. It looks like it's a bowl. Let's see what this is. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you, Dr. Lori?
I'm fine. What's your first name?
Elisa from Colorado.
Hi, Elisa. Hi, Elisa. So tell me, how did you acquire this piece? I like this very well. Here's what I like about this piece. First of all, I like American Brilliant cut crystal. Why? Because it's going to reach its 100th anniversary soon, and people are going to, those prices are going to skyrocket. And basically when I go, a lot of you are poo-pooing it, and a lot of you will be sorry when you don't pick it up at the thrift store, the yard sale, the estate sale, or when you say, oh, I'm just getting rid of all the crystal. It has to be of high quality, however, and the Elisa's piece is particularly high quality. Why? The cuts are very deep. You want a deep cut. You know, you want a cut that a doctor would have to put a stitch into, right? If it were a human, right? So you want a nice deep cut. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm sorry, honey. What were you saying?
It feels very sharp when I'm holding it.
Feels very sharp when you're holding it. Can you back up a little bit so we can see the whole piece? There it is. And then what I like also about it, it's a deep bowl. I like a nice deep bowl. It has some lovely starburst forms on it, patterns on it. It has repeated patterns on it. And again, those cuts are deep. Remember, you stick your thumb in, you move it around. If you feel like you're going to get cut, then it's cut glass or cut crystal. Remember, crystal should be quite clear as well. Is there any type of maker's mark on it? Is there any type of identifying factor other than the pattern? Because the pattern is always an identifying factor on it.
I haven't found one, but I also I'm waiting for my loop to come in. So
okay, when you get your loop, you got to scrutinize it, and you really have to start from top to bottom, and you really try the bottom first. You might get lucky, but literally you could find those marks anywhere. It's a very, very nice piece. I would say value on that piece in today's market, just about $95. What did you pay for it?
It was a gift.
Oh, it was a gift.
Yeah.
We love gifts. That's wonderful. Gifts are terrific, and it's very nice. I hope you'll keep it.
Yes.
And think about if you are interested in reselling, as many of you are. I've taught many of you how to make money doing this, reselling objects, of course. And of course, as an honest ethical appraisal, I don't get involved in the sale, nor do I buy or sell objects. But that particular piece, I would say, if you're going to resell it, hold on to it. If you're going to keep it, hold on to it for a long time and enjoy it. Beautiful, wonderful. That's a really nice piece. That's a really nice piece. Guests are here galore from all over with all different types of objects. And I show you what to look for with all different types of objects, because you don't just have one kind of object in your home. You've got all different types of objects in your home. And that's basically what we're looking at. You know, it's funny. The picture of the plants looks very familiar to me. It reminds me of something. Maybe I've seen it before. Maybe it was submitted into the website. I'm not really sure, but that seems familiar to me. And then it looks like we've got this pendant here. Looks like there's a pendant. And then, of course, there's another piece that has a pendant and a long chain with a Dr. Lori Says t-shirt, which, of course, supports the channel. You can purchase those through YouTube. You can see it. There's a shop right there, and you can do that to support the channel. So let's take a look at this pendant. It's on a black background, and it's a very thin chain, and then it just has a pendant at the bottom. It might be grapes. I have to get a better look. Maybe we can tilt up or down so I can see it a little bit better.
Okay, it is actually, they're pearls.
Oh, they're like a cluster of pearls. I have to say, I apologize.
Yes.
I feel terrible to do this, but I can't really see it very well. And if I can't see it well enough, I don't want to evaluate it. But what I will do is, if you will send me a photograph so I can see it better, because I don't have a great connection with you. I apologize. So, but again, I want you to see it. I want you to see things well. I thought I could see it. That's why I chose it. But lo and behold, I couldn't. So that's the honest what it is. I have to be able to see it well. Hopefully she will send a photo to drloriv.com, and I'll look at it that way and take care of her that way. Then we've got this glass piece, which is a large piece of glass. Then we've got this piece that has, of course, a cobalt body. And then we have this vase here, which is really quite sinuous and nice. It's green and, of course, glazed. Let's look at the green and white ceramic vase. Can we look at that? Very Art Nouveau. What's Art Nouveau? Well, Art Nouveau relates to sinuous lines and curves and a lot of artistic elements that relate, of course, to things such as organic forms, and that period is best known, of course, in the early part of the 1900s. Hi, I'm Dr. Lori. How are you?
Hi, I'm great, Dr. Lori. How are you?
I'm fine. What's your name?
Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. And where are you calling from?
Southern Illinois.
Well, what have you got there?
Well, I have a vase that I bought at an online auction, and I really don't know anything about
so
it.
I can see all of it. I'm sorry, I stepped on your words. What were you saying? I was saying, can you back up so I can see? There it is. And you got it at an online auction, and what was your thought?
I didn't really know anything about it. I just like the shape and the colors.
Okay. Is it marked on the bottom?
It has some numbers on the bottom.
Okay.
Let's see them. My camera. There we go.
Okay, very nice. Can we see it the other way so we can see? Yeah. So here's what I like about it. I like the form, right? I like the handles. I love the applied ornament, right? I like, of course, the flowers. I like the top, which has sort of a peekaboo element at the top that you could see, of course, the stems and the flowers are in it. Now, hopefully you don't have any flowers in it because, of course, putting the flowers in the water and the whole thing in it actually puts undue stress on these vases. But some people like to use it for actual live flowers, and you may. This piece also has a very nice background in terms of what we see in the Art Nouveau of that glaze, right, on the ceramic. So it's a pretty heavy ceramic. The marks indicate that the piece is probably Austrian. And how tall is it? Is it 12 inches like a ruler?
Yeah, probably at least 12.
Okay, I would say value on that piece in today's market, about $150. What did you pay?
20.
Very nice, very nice. Why? It's Art Nouveau. It's very well executed. It's made by a major manufacturer. So this is not just some studio art pottery or some student potters who are making these pieces. Not that they're bad, just that a lot of these pieces that are made in numbers like this one, this is an established pottery European, of course, and this piece, of course, maintains the Art Nouveau. Some of the best places for Art Nouveau ceramics are places like, of course, Denmark, Norway, Austria, Germany. Of course, in Art Nouveau glass and art glass, Louis Comfort Tiffany is sort of the pinnacle of the Art Nouveau period in the early part of the 20th century. So good for you. Early 20th century, for $20, you did great. $150 is the retail value based on actual sales records. That was a nice piece as well. So, you're looking at the forms that are indicative of a particular time period, right? So the Art Nouveau is known for those sinuous lines, for tap, weave, pull, figured figures that are really elongated, right? And of course, things like flowers and things like soft muted colors and such. Brittany, the numbers on the bottom can mean different things to different ceramics. Sometimes they're mold numbers. They are rarely dates. Many of you will think it says 1742. Is it from 1742? Not typically. Sometimes the numbers also relate to the shape or to the ornamentation that's going to go on them, which is done at, of course, the factory. They say, well, this one's going to have roses, but one with a different number would have poppy flowers or whatever it might be. So the numbers usually relate to inventory or mold numbers. So it will say mold number 1262, just taking numbers out of the air, would relate to a final result of a ceramic that looks like this. Good question. I appreciate your questions, and I'm happy to answer them. So my guests are here. Let's see what they've got.
Hi, Dr. Lori.
Hi, nice to see you. Thanks for being with me. So we've got this painting of a little house, looks like a little house, a little firm, and then we've got a ring, and then we've got this other piece that I don't know, this I kind of recognize too. Maybe I saw this piece as well, but I don't. This looks more like a watercolor. Let's take a look at the watercolor type of piece. I don't know if it's a watercolor yet. It's not close enough in my vision yet. Hi, how did you acquire this?
So I got this at an auction for $5. It was grouped with another watercolor, and it's marked bowls.
So did you send this in?
I did.
Okay, so this is how I saw this. Okay, so a lot of you were saying, wow, how does she recognize this? Well, some of these pieces come through, of course, our website, and I look at every single piece that goes through. So a piece that comes in, if you send in a photo, not an actual piece, no one send me anything, but and they don't, and you shouldn't. But basically, it's a photograph, and sometimes I recognize the photographs. Maybe that happens, in the recent history, in the recent past. Maybe it's a long time. I don't know. So this particular piece is a watercolor with gouache. Basically, this is a gouache. So it has a little bit of oil paint highlighted, and it also is that. Now, is it an early 20th century piece? Is it dated?
It's marked 1909.
There you go. Yeah. So basically, there are a couple of artists who would fit that bill, right? So now you say, all of you say, Dr. Lori, have you ever heard of this artist? Dr. Lori, have you ever heard of that artist? I've heard of a lot of artists. But this particular piece has a lot of characteristics of the early part of the 20th century. One of them is a very high horizon line. That's horizon line where those houses are, that dark portion, is something you typically see in the early 20th century in watercolor, in oil on canvas. So it's sort of a big approach to the horizon. And in this particular case, it's not only that sunset or sunrise. I never get those straight. I don't get those straight in real life either. I'm terrible at this, at the sunrise, sunset. I'm great at this. But basically, when you go that way, a large approach to the horizon. When the horizon line is raised, that is something that's introduced by, of course, the Japanese, which is then copied by the French Impressionists, which is then copied by the early 20th century artisans in places like Great Britain and, of course, the United States. This particular piece is a very nice piece. I don't like the acid matte. So
I don't either. I took the back off because there was cardboard.
Okay, the cardboard, great. Get rid of the cardboard. You can also get rid of the matte. You may see, of course, the line of the acidic matte as well. That's one of the other things that we want to avoid if we can. So it might cost you something to get a new matte on it if you're keeping it for yourself. And value on that piece, about $175 retail. That's just for the watercolor gouache. The frame is another $35. So
I have a question.
Good. Yeah, what's your question?
I had looked up this name, Baume, and there was a Victorian silversmith.
No.
Okay.
not a Victorian silversmith at all. This particular
Okay.
artist is working in the early 20th century.
Okay.
Also based on the date, you have that as a clue.
Mhm.
And this particular artist is definitely not the silversmith. So sometimes
Okay.
what happens is you go online and you find somebody who has the same name. You go, well, it's an
Sure.
artist. It could be the same person.
Sure.
That's fine to try to do that. But again, you know, you're not getting the right person.
of course.
And many times, you know, these people are not on the internet. People will say, well, nobody ever listed anything like this. And you have to also remember who your source is.
Of
So,
course.
you know, a lot of people will say, well, I saw one like it on fill in the blank, Etsy, eBay, Ruby Lane, this place, that place. All fine. That's good. They can put anything up they want. However, if they get it right or they get it wrong, or it just doesn't relate to your piece, right?
Sure.
Maybe correct on their piece, maybe incorrect on their piece. This is why I fix a lot of course, the incorrect appraisals and such. Well, thanks so much for
Thank
being
you
with
so
me.
much.
Nice to see you.
Great to meet you.
Great to meet you. I'm Dr. Lori, the PhD Antiques Appraiser. I'll see you next time.